Today I'm going to share with you a recipe that I just love. I've used it many times and it's great for a big family dinner. As you can see from all these ingredients, it does make a large casserole. Now I've started with cooked chicken, and I always put a bay leaf or two in my chicken when I cook it. It just gives it a lot better flavor. But I have it cooled and chopped up somewhat, but I'm still going to go ahead and chop it a little bit more with my hands. Now this recipe is crunchy. It has water chestnuts in it and celery. You put the celery in raw, and after you bake it, it softens up just a little bit, but it is still a little bit crunchy. If you don't like the celery that way, you can always pre-cook it, but I just add it in raw. So the recipe calls for 3 cups of chicken, but I have a little bit more here today. I may save a little bit for something else. A generous amount of chicken. Now to that, I'm going to add 1 1/4 cups or thereabouts of real mayonnaise. This is not a low-cal recipe. That should do it. And I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of chopped onion. Of course, you can add more or less to taste. Just rough chop and throw that in. And also your celery. Now the celery does need to be diced up pretty small. And I have it julienned already here, so I'm just going to chop it up. And I like to add some of the leaves. I think that gives it a real good flavor. So just dice up your celery. About a cup is what you need. That looks good right there. Now you're going to add 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. You will not need to add any other salt because of the soup. It'll give you all the salt you need. 2 cans. A can of drained mushrooms, sliced. A can of drained, sliced water chestnuts. Stir all that in. I hope I have a big enough bowl to hold all these ingredients. I'm going to add 2 cups of minute rice. Now all that soup and the wet ingredients are going to make that rice puff right up. To this, I'm going to add 2/3 cup of evaporated milk. It's really a rich recipe. After you have it completely mixed together, you're going to put it into a casserole dish, large enough to hold it all. Just spread it out, ungreased. You don't need to grease it. Just spread all of that in evenly. Press it down. To this, I'm going to add 2 cups of crushed cornflakes. Sprinkle all of that. And spread those on evenly. And finally, the last ingredient is melted butter. And this is just a little over a half stick, about 3/4 stick melted. And just drizzle that over the cornflakes so they'll brown up really well. I'm going to bake this for 30 to 45 minutes in a 350-degree oven. You want it to be a little browned and bubbly when it comes out. Now here it is, right out of the oven. I baked it about 45 minutes. And it is nice and browned on the edges, and the cornflake crumbs on top are nice and crunchy. Now for supper, a nice fruit salad with this would be great. Just a nice little salad would also be good.
Thanks, Mom. I love that dish. You know, we've had that at our church dinners for as long as I can remember.